Hey, welcome guys to another edition of Review My Site. Today we're looking at BochDesign.com. Hope I said that right. Submitted to me by Asaph, another follower of our little launchers community that we got going. So I'm going to be taking a look at his site and let him know what I think about it, what I like, what I dislike, and where he could potentially improve. And this time, I promise, I'm going to be a little more concise. Nobody has time to watch a website review that's 28 minutes long, right? I need to condense these things a little bit. Problem is I can talk about web design all day. I won't do that. Maybe. Alright, let's load this puppy up and see what we got here. Okay, first off, I'm willing to bet these are supposed to be buttons that, somehow turned out very badly. And I'm also willing to bet that it wasn't like this when you sent the link to me because it's just a little obvious. So I'll leave that alone. Obviously something that needs to be fixed though. First thought when I land on the page, the logo. It's a little dated. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the triple layers going on with 3 different colors and 3D effect. It feels a little 90s to me. I think you'd be much better off, honestly, if you just got rid of the 2 layers behind it and just made it a flat, minimalist, simple logo. Also, there's no real benefit to me. If I go up to the navigation menu, I notice, and I hover over anywhere in the menu, it changes color. There's no benefit to this. It could even be a little confusing. Generally, when you do something like this, it's because it's like a call to action, or you want the website visitor to know that by hovering over this item with a mouse, it changes in some way. There is an action to take, potentially. So, for example, if I hovered over, let's say these are just buttons. I'll leave you alone, Asaph. This is good. The color changes for the button. It goes from, transparent, basically, to a green color. That's what you would do with a button. But to have the entire nav change color like that, I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, above the fold, custom websites for entrepreneurs. Give your brand a boost. So I guess this is the call to action here. Give your brand a boost. Would like to see a button here. Maybe that was also an issue that wasn't an issue when you first submitted the link to me. But yeah, this doesn't stand out nearly enough. So I would put a button there, nice obvious colors, because that's what you want people to click on ultimately. That's your goal. Custom websites for entrepreneurs. Simple. I like it. Tells everybody what you do right away. Header image, a lot of empty space on the right hand side. I'm not really sure why this image is kind of left aligned. I mean, I get it. You probably are trying to avoid, if you centered it, it would probably make the text harder to read. But it looks a little awkward. So I would try to make use, one of 2 things. Either make use of the entire section, entire header, or if you're going to keep the image left aligned, then right align this text over here and put it in this empty space, and then you can kind of actually feature this image because it is very faded. You can't see it. And if this is an example of a website you've made for somebody and you're trying to feature it prominently, you don't really want it to be so hidden, right? Scrolling down. Ooh, I like this little animated icon showing off the responsive design. Snappy. The text is easy to read. You break it down into 3 different paragraphs with a heading for each. No large blocks of text. Kind of just reading some of this real quick. Obviously, I don't want to read through the whole website because people might get a little bored. But reading through real quick, I like the copy you have. Seems very personal. It's not your standard, we build beautiful WordPress websites for affordable price. You have some personality here. I can see that, which is good. It's a good start. And I do like this little animated icon that just keeps going. Like that. Reasons to hire Boch Design. What happened here? Choose the best time for you and I'll give you a call. Checking Asaph's calendar. Okay. Alright, so you have a... I don't know what I clicked on for this to happen, but it did. So it looks like you have kind of a scheduling calendar plugin or app of some kind integrated here. So that's your main CTA. You want people to leave you their phone number and you will call them. Could be a tough ask. It's not a bad idea, but it's already hard enough to ask people for their email. Trying to get their phone number, oh man, people are so tired of spam calls and submitting their phone numbers everywhere and getting it sold to third parties. It could be a challenge. If you are going to go this route, I would love to hear how it works out for you. Because most people these days generally favor some sort of a passive contact option. So something like through email, even though I don't like email, and frankly a lot of email can get lost and put into spam. Or you can do something where it's like an instant calculator, which is something I recently integrated in my website as an experiment. But yeah, I don't know why this popped up. That's a problem. I don't think I clicked anything. Like, this isn't clickable. So I was just kind of highlighting this, and then the thing popped up. So if that is a timed pop-up, do not do that. That's a no-no. I like this. Icon, heading, paragraph, 3 different columns. I love the little animations. However, it's not consistent. So you have 2 animations and then one that's not. And then all 3 of them are different styles. So when you're making your website, you do have to think about what is your brand and what is your brand style. I do like this middle one because it features your brand colors. So if you could come up with icons or animations that also fit this theme, that are similar to the middle icon for the left and right, it shows more consistency, and it looks better, and it builds your brand. Okay, moving down a little bit. Schedule a call. So this looks like it's another call to action, no button, and it's kind of moved off to the left in white text. So this is very hard to see. That needs to be a lot more obvious. Perhaps center align it, put a button. I don't know. I feel like we've had some pretty good conversations so far, Asaph. I feel like these buttons issues are something new. And maybe I'm only experiencing on my browser or device or whatever, and you don't see that. But needless to say, it is an issue. But I feel like I know you well enough that, and everything else is, most of the other things are done well enough that it seems like such an obvious thing that you probably don't even know about it yet. But now it's on YouTube, so it's too late. Introducing website as a service. Okay, the heading needs to be bigger, too small. I need to have some clear idea of, it sounds like we're shifting to an entire different concept here. So we're talking here about reasons to hire. That's good. Introducing website as a service. For those looking to make owning a website easier and cheaper. Don't use the word cheap. Never use the word cheap. Affordable. Great. Let me introduce you website as a service. Once signed up, sit back and watch your website design, launch, and maintain all while paying one low monthly fee. I've heard this concept somewhere before. I like it. There's a reason why I started doing it and offering it as an option with my business. Standard features for website design service. Okay, but so here, it's a little confusing. I don't know if you're doing only website as a service or you're offering options, because we've got standard features for website design service. I do like the icons and the bold text, the subheadings. Yeah, this looks good, but I need to get a clearer picture as to what product or service you're offering, if it's just one or multiple. If it's multiple, there needs to be a little more clarity here. What you'll never deal with, contracts, hidden fees, shady practices. Oh, they're a little animated too. I like that. I don't know why everything's so left aligned though. This is all dead space over here on the right. That needs to be, gotta use that in some way. Again, call to action, schedule a call, way too small, way too hard to find. Recent projects. Okay, so you got your portfolio here. Good. You got 1, 2, 3 different portfolios. You got the name, and you got a little description of each one. I like it because you probably don't have a huge portfolio right now. You're just starting out, it seems like, as a web designer. So if you only have 3 websites made, post them. But yeah, go into a little bit of detail. Tell visitors what you did, what it looked like before, if there was a website that you redesigned, and what benefits and goals and objectives and success came out of the design of these sites. I like it. Again, schedule a call, too small, can't see it. And then we got the footer at the bottom, Boch, website design services, logo design services. Okay, so one of these links to your logo design page, but this doesn't seem to have a link for your website design services. You got your social profiles over here. LinkedIn, what's the rocket? Oh, it's Launchers, my own little social network specifically for web designers that you are a part of, and you have it linked here with your little profile. That is the best little surprise I could have seen. That's awesome. Instagram. Yeah, I like that you don't have Facebook or Twitter because they're toxic cesspools. Representing Long Island, New York. A little description from Manhattan. Oh, here we go again. I don't know what this is. I don't know why it keeps popping up, but it seems like every time I try to click and highlight something, it seems like that's what that triggered it each time. So you definitely want to figure that out. I don't like that. Then you got your email, phone number. I like it. Yeah, privacy policy, sitemap. Good. Okay, so that's your web design page, and then it looks like you have a logo design. See, there's the buttons. So there's definitely something wrong with your homepage. This is what it's supposed to look like, I'm guessing. However, your logo design, I guess you probably designed it because I am on logo design, so you don't want it to show up. There needs to be more consistency in the styles here. And yeah, like I said, ditch the hover for no reason across the nav bar. Custom logos for entrepreneurs. Turn your idea into a brand. Like it. Good CTA. Don't like the header image though. I don't know what's going on here. What's this? I guess this is maybe one of the logos you made in the background. I can't see it. It's green lawn something. And it's too faded and too kind of has this weird effect where like half of it is faded or like handwritten and the other half is digital. I don't know what happened here, but I would definitely make better use of your above the fold content here. How do entrepreneurs find logos? You just opened a new business, you need a logo fast. Do you A, B? Okay. I like it. You're walking through free logo generator. Free usually means all right. Bold. Okay. See how that pays off. I do for the most part. I love your copy. It's personal. I mean, everyone's different, but I don't like cursing in my language, but if that's the style you're going for, that's totally up to you. And then you got some portfolio or some examples of logos you made over here. I like it. Some pretty good logos too. Oh, what's this? Boss Croakers. Hockey. Hockey's my thing, man. What's this about? So if I click it, this is not. So I click it to see it. It ends up being something smaller than the original. Like there actually is zero benefit to me clicking on this thing. Nothing. It actually just shrinks the logo. So I'd rethink that. I know you have some kind of gallery set up here, but yeah, it just shrinks the actual logos that are there. So I wouldn't. This thing, ASAF, keeps popping up. Yeah, I would rethink that. Probably just ditch the clickable. Don't make them clickable. No reason to if you don't have anything to show. Cheap logo design. You always get what you pay for. Yeah, so didn't you say cheap with the web design? Yeah, again, this doesn't link, so let me just click back. For those looking to make owning website easier and cheaper. Remember I said don't use the word cheap. I'm not going to say anything this time about this. I already said it. Yeah, don't use the word cheap, but you're also using it in the context in a positive way. Like those who want to make web design cheaper, you're offering a cheap option. But then here, cheap logo design, you always get what you pay for. You're using the concept and the idea of cheap in a negative way. So no consistency there. You got to figure out what your language means, what you want it to mean. That's how many results come from simple. So what do you do? Chances are you go for the first time. Yeah, I let you kind of. You're going through the process of the pain points of what people are dealing with. But you're also saying a proper logo requires a decent investment. That's what it looks like you're saying. So schedule a call. It's a decent. I would probably get rid of black. I'd actually keep it green without having to hover over it. Make it more obvious. Black kind of, people are used to black and white. It's kind of in one eye, out the other, if that makes any sense. I usually say that about ears. Logo services include, yes, you really get all of this. I like this. You break it down. Little icon, easy to read, digestible. Empty space on the left-hand side. Don't know why. You got to change that. Yeah, it seems like there's some alignment issues with your design. And your footer's different. You have a button here that I don't recall seeing in your other page. Oh, you got links to other pages too that you don't have on your home page. That's got to change. Uh-oh. What? I don't know what calendar integration you're using, but it is. You know how I feel about pop-ups. Okay, so I don't know what this page is. I'm guessing it's still under construction, but you shouldn't link to anything that's under construction. It should be same with contact. Yeah, so get rid of those links if they're not functional and not ready. If they're supposed to be functional, you definitely want to fix that. All right, so that's the desktop experience. Why don't we take a quick look at the mobile version, which really should be the priority. Okay, mobile version. Not enough space going on up here. It's way too crowded. You need a little bit of margin, a little bit of buffer room at the top, some white space for the logo, and space out these buttons a little bit. I do like that you have the buttons. Your calls to action. Oh, they're not calls to action. They're your. Interesting. So that's your navigation menu. You got the two buttons on mobile too. Not a bad idea. If you only have 2 pages, it's different. It looks cool. I like it. But of course, once you start adding more pages, you'll have to change that because there's no way you could fit 3, 4, or 5 buttons on here. But good start. Center aligned. Everything seems well spaced out. Responsive. I like the little line sliding in. I'd leave a little more margin on the left and right sides here. I often do even just like 20 pixels, just to give a little more buffer room, a little more negative space. A little more white space. Yeah, but other than that, a little too much space I think between each logo too. Like that's a lot of empty space. You could even, the quality of the logos is a little blurry, so I'd even shrink them a little bit, and if possible, and I'm not sure how you optimize the images, but potentially if you have a higher quality version of these logos, re-optimize them to prioritize quality and shrink them. They don't have to be this big, and reduce the space in between each one. Don't include your logo in the portfolio. As tempting as that is, you have enough logos to back yourself up. It just looks, by having your own logo in there, it makes it clear that these are the only logos you've ever made. So it makes you look small time. Nothing wrong with being small time, but it depends on the type of client you're going for. I like this. Again, makes it clear. Everything looks pretty responsive. Footer looks good. Okay, let's take a look at the main page then on mobile. Ooh, did that thing pop up again on mobile? Okay, here's your web design homepage. Same thing. I don't recall this little, there's nothing wrong with this. It looks kind of neat with the arrow pointing down, but I don't think you had that on the logo design page. You only, yeah, you don't. So consistency, remember that. Be good to either have it on both or neither. Same thing, yeah, it's good. Scrolling down, responsive. I love this little animation. I'd be curious to know where you got that, or how if you made it yourself, or a little too much space again. White space. Reasons to hire. For the most part, though, it looks very responsive. Everything's easy to read. Yeah, it really just comes down to a little bit some margin and buffer changes that I mentioned. This looks a little wonky too. The contracts is not quite as centered as hidden fees and shady practices. Additional possibilities. Yeah, the other thing is your fonts. Your fonts are not consistent with sizing or anything. They're all over the place. Your H1, H2, H3, H4 through 5, 6, they should all be consistent throughout the site. And your text, your paragraph text should be consistent. Because this is actually bigger than your heading. So there needs to be more consistency with your fonts. It's one of the biggest and most common mistakes people make is the fonts. It's very easy to overlook that. And again, your footer looks different on your homepage. So your footer should be the exact same on all of your pages. So again, consistency. All right, so that's how it looks on mobile. Okay, here are the results of your performance score through GT metrics. Now, I'm not sure how you built the site, what plugins you're using, or even what platform. I'm pretty sure it's WordPress. I didn't check, but it looks like it is. I think you might even be using Elementor. And I don't know who you're hosting with and servers and all that stuff. All that matters, but all I can see right now is your score and your performance score. So, structure looks fantastic. Performance, not so great. C's, it could be a lot worse for sure. C, yeah, not bad. Could be a lot worse. Could be better, but could be a lot worse. So here's the speed of his. Let's see what exactly is. Avoid an excessive DOM size. Yeah, so you're probably. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. But that, to be honest, it probably comes down to your server specs and what you're using for hosting. So for the most part, things look good. So let's go into the performance and get first contentful paint, a bit longer than recommended, but not horrible. Like nothing's in the red except for total blocking time. It's 452 milliseconds. It's that is too high, but not the end of the world. I'd be much more concerned if your first contentful paint or timed interactive, or even the largest contentful paint were in the red. Those are much more important. And everything else looks pretty good. So yeah, nothing major to look for. I would focus on the design aspects that I mentioned. Don't worry about performance for now. Oh, I'm not sure what happened with this CSS here. Canceled. It took a second. Canceled. Oh, so you're using Cloudflare for your CDN. That's good. And you are using Elementor because this is CSS for Elementor. Okay, yeah. So don't worry about this stuff for now. Focus on the design aspect. Get that in working order as best as it can be, and then we can take a little bit more time to analyze why some of this stuff. Calendar, there's your calendar pop-up that was killing me. Asaph, calendar.ai or whatever this is. I don't like that. You have to change that. Change the triggers or whatever it was. Yeah, that's it. So that's my review of your. There it is again. It's the most aggressive scheduler pop-up I've ever seen. Simple website, 2 pages. Overall, good start. One more thing I will say, I'm not a great fan of the colors. The turquoise green is fine. No big deal. But this brownish thing, yeah, the light brown or gold or whatever you want to call it, beige, with the green, different colors of green and black, it's a bit too much. Keep the whole site to no more than like 3 colors. So usually, if you can, even just do 2 colors for your brand. I shouldn't say 2, because at RapidWebLaunch, my logo has red, white, and black. Those are my 3 colors. And then throughout your website, the buttons alone, the calls to action, really should have their own dedicated color to make them pop and make them that obvious. And depending on the site, depending on the brand and what you're trying to accomplish, of course. But really, the CTAs, the buttons, got to be super obvious. Hope I wasn't. Hope I didn't hurt your feelings, or it wasn't. I think it was pretty. It was pretty good, straightforward, honest. You got a lot of things right. And you're one of the best copywriters I've seen in a long time. You're off to a good start. So keep up the good work. Make some of the changes I'd recommend. Thanks for being such a great supporter of launchers as well. So, if you'd like to be next, or if you have a website you're working on, you don't have to be a web designer. If you're trying to just build a website for your small business, any website, feel free to send it my way. There's a link in the description below, and I'd be happy to review it, give you a video review completely for free. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.